Hey guys, my name is Blake Cadwell. I'm the co-founder at Soundly.com, and in this video, we're going to be talking about a brand new release from the brand Phonak, which is currently the #1 prescription brand in the United States. So it's pretty big news for the hearing health world. Now, Phonak typically rolls out a new family of products every couple of years. Their last big release was in 2022 when they released Phonak Audéo Lumity, which is the current flagship, until the release of the new Phonak Audéo Infinio, which is the new flagship product for Phonak. Starting today, if you walk into a clinic and you're interested in Phonak products, you should almost certainly ask for the new Phonak Audéo Infinio product line. In this video, we're going to break it all down, everything we know so far. We're going to talk about Bluetooth connection. We'll talk about form factor. We'll talk about the family as a whole, some of the updates to the chip. And we're also going to spend some time talking about artificial intelligence, which is really the most exciting update with this new flagship product from Phonak. So let's get into it. All right, so before we dig in, it's worth noting that this is not one of my traditional product reviews. Typically, I wear a product for weeks or months before coming on the channel and reviewing my experience with the product. That helps me understand the quirks, how well it's treating my hearing loss, how it's performing in background noise. Now, I did this with the Phonak Audéo Lumity a couple of years ago. I spent almost 6 months wearing the product, reviewed it on this channel. And I'll do that with Phonak Audéo Infinio as well, but I don't have the product with me yet. So if you're interested in seeing that full review, probably in a couple of months, hit subscribe, turn on the notification bell, and we will drop that full review in time. Also, if you have specific questions about this new product line, drop those questions below and I'll make sure I answer those in our next video about the new Phonak line of products. Now in today's video, we're going to focus on the new news. We're going to focus on what Phonak has told the world about their new product and share some of the exciting updates, especially in the category of AI that we're really watching, because they might not just signal changes for Phonak, they may also signal changes for the entire category and the future of hearing care, and that gets us really excited. Before we dig into that, let's talk through some of the basics. As you might already know, Phonak is a clinic brand. That means you'll typically go to a local audiologist in order to get your hearing aids fit and adjusted to your particular hearing loss. You can't purchase this product as an over-the-counter device. Now, Sonova, the parent company of Phonak, also makes Sennheiser hearing aids, which we sell directly on Soundly.com. You can purchase them at other retailers as well. So that's an over-the-counter product that you would purchase and then have it shipped to your home. In the case of Phonak, you're going to have a hearing care professional do that programming for you. Phonak's most popular receiver and canal model, which has a piece that's behind the ear, a wire that goes up over the top of the ear, and a speaker that plays the sound inside of your ear, will be Bluetooth connected through Android or iPhone devices. Phonak will continue with this new line with their Bluetooth Classic connection style, which means you're going to connect your hearing aids a lot more like you connect headphones versus other competitors in the industry which use the accessibility settings in your phone. It's a little bit more complicated, also a little bit more customized, so it's a trade-off we've talked about on this channel before, but Phonak will continue forward with the Bluetooth Classic connection at this time. Of course, Phonak hearing aids are also available as a full family, so you can get in-ear styles, you can get high-powered styles, you can get a receiver and canal style we just talked about. Okay, so let's dig into what is new with Phonak Infinio. A couple of weeks ago, I joined a call where the company walked through a number of updates that they would be making to their family. Some of the most notable updates, in my opinion, were that they're increasing the strength of their Bluetooth, which means that you can move almost twice as far away from your phone without that kind of crackling sound or the breaking up of the audio signal that you're experiencing. So if you're listening to a podcast, you set your phone on a counter, you walk away, you can now walk twice as far away. Now this is actually a pretty big update in my opinion. This is one of the weaknesses of hearing aid streaming, is that they often break up when you're not very far away from your phone. Phonak also shared that they're increasing the durability of their hearing aids. Formerly, they had a product called Phonak Lumity Life, which was a bit more durable than their typical flagship. They're now taking the technology from Life, which includes some additional waterproofing, and they're bringing it into the standard flagship product. the Phonak Infinio receiver and canal product. During the demonstration I joined, they talked about a new processing chip called Era, which will be in all Phonak Infinio hearing aids. Now this is standard. When hearing aid companies come out with a new family of devices, they typically update their chip, which allows them to update their sound algorithms and the way that they're actually controlling the hearing aids and connecting them through the app. Now after I got off this call, I sort of scratched my head thinking there's not a lot of big news here. Yes, it's an improvement to Bluetooth, which I love. There's an improvement to durability, which is great, but a lot of what was shared felt pretty similar to what Phonak has had out in the market for a couple of years. That was until a few days later when they made a second announcement about a brand new strata of product, which will sit at the top of the line, called Phonak Audéo Infinio. Now the big news with this new product, which I believe they'll call Sphere in most cases, is that it has a second processing chip. So most hearing aids have one chip that they run their sound through and they control their algorithms through. Sphere is going to have two chips on board. They'll have the Era chip, but they're also going to have a second chip called Deep Sonic. And this is big news because it means that they can run an onboard artificial intelligence program that's actually changing things in real time. Now, to explain this further, let me just back up and talk a little bit about how artificial intelligence is typically used in hearing aids as of the time of this recording. Now, most leading manufacturers use artificial intelligence or machine learning to train the algorithms on board your hearing aids to respond to different environments. For example, Phonak in past generations has used something called AutoSense. They've used machine learning, which would tell the hearing aids to listen for certain signals, which might tell you that you're in an echoey room, or you're in a windy environment, or maybe you're in a noisy environment. The microphones should focus in, the beamforming should respond slightly different. But essentially what's happening is they've used machine learning to train the devices. And then the devices have a set number of next steps that they can take, a set number of programs that they would change into based on the inputs that they're hearing. But essentially the big thing to know is that Sphere now has about 53 times the processing power of generations of hearing aids that we've seen on the market. That means the computer inside of your hearing aids is becoming much more powerful. And what that ultimately means is that artificial intelligence can actually happen on board. Instead of artificial intelligence just being used in the training phase, AI is now being used inside of your hearing aids to manage much more complex inputs. Now it sounds like Phonak is primarily using this onboard AI to focus their denoise program, which essentially is the program that manages background noise, into more complex settings. Essentially what they're hoping is that this onboard AI will be able to identify noise in an environment in a more complex way, turn that noise down, and focus in on speech. Now this is the goal of most hearing aids, but Phonak has a new tool, and that is that they're actually running this real-time AI on your hearing aids instead of simply using the training models and machine learning. Now it's worth noting again, I have not tried this product myself. I will, and I'll report back once I have some learnings in background noise environments and have a sense for how this AI is actually performing and what difference it makes. However, it does get me excited that a hearing aid maker has finally made the jump to running an AI system inside of our hearing aids instead of simply in the training phase, because you can imagine where this could go. For a long time, I've wished that my hearing aids could focus on the voices of people that I know and love. For example, when my daughter and wife and I are walking through a farmer's market, I don't need to hear everybody else's voices equal to their voices. I wish my hearing aids could recognize their voices and give them a little bit of a boost. With an onboard AI, in the future, you could imagine something like that happening. You could also imagine your hearing aids becoming intelligent enough to understand that you go to work in the morning and you're going to be in an office environment. Then you come home and you're in your home environment, and making those auto adjustments based on your typical behaviors. Now, this is not all a part of the Sphere at this time, but the idea of bringing AI into our hearing aids in real time begins to get me really excited about the next few generations from Phonak and probably from other hearing aid brands as well. Now, of course, we're going to be watching this really closely, and we'll be sharing on this channel about how all of this develops over time. My guess is that it's going to take a few years to make a really meaningful impact in our day-to-day lives, but I do think that that change is coming. Now, Phonak is not simply staying in a speculative future state with this launch. They're making some claims that Infinio is significantly better than their past generations and also significantly better than the competitors. They make a claim that 93% of the folks that they trialed the product on preferred the first fit, meaning the initial setup, to other competitors. Now, of course, once you start making adjustments, there's so much nuance into what people prefer. But as a first fit, they're saying 93% of people prefer Phonak versus competitors. Now, obviously, this is a test that they ran, and the competitors may have a thing or two to say about that. But in general, Phonak's promising some pretty immediate improvements, especially in background noise, and especially with this first fit, meaning that initial fitting should be a lot better than what you might have expected in past generations. Ultimately, we'll see how this all shakes out. Again, subscribe to the channel, turn on notifications. We're going to post a full review of this product in the very near future. We look forward to hearing your comments and your questions below. We'll make sure to answer those in the next version. That's it for today. We hope this has been helpful, and we wish you the best in your research.